Good morning. Welcome to Mel's Mat Chat, episode 339. You're probably wondering what the fuck I'm doing on Thursday, and it's like 11:30 in the morning. Well, I had to do preview and predictions for Backlash right after SmackDown tomorrow. So you're going to get me today, tomorrow, and Saturday. So hopefully you're going to be buckling up and enjoying the ride. And I definitely will be covering it. My son is not here, so I will not have any excuses. But I have to cater to him. So sorry. So how is everybody doing today? I'm doing great. I just want to let you know I'm going live next Thursday at this time. The reason why is Friday, I'm going to be busy with my birthday. My birthday is next Friday on May 10th, which is Mother's Day weekend. So it's going to be really chaotic for me. I'm also a mom. So, I have to, juggle this next weekend. So just give me a second, turn my light on. It's starting to get a little too dark for me. So it's just going to be crazy, crazy fucking weekend. And I am actually having company coming over this weekend. So I don't want to be doing this on Friday at 2 p.m. on my birthday. So next Thursday is going to be my birthday episode 340. Holy shit. So yeah, I'll be doing that next week, and it'll probably be hopefully a little earlier than this. If I can get my ass out of bed. I'm legitimately on vacation all month. So I'm enjoying the rest. I'm going to enjoy my birthday month, and there is on the 19th is my grandparents' wedding anniversary, and they're no longer with me, and they are passed on. And I'm not sharing like a birthday with that, but it's kind of a somber day on the 19th of May. Yes, May 19th. I think that's hilarious. My grandfather, when that whole segment came on, and they were yelling, May 19th, May 19th. And my grandfather says, oh, for the love of God, that's our anniversary. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. And then we finally put 3 and 3 together, and we got 10,000. I think it's kind of, it's a somber situation, and it's kind of funny, but my birthday is next week, and Mother's Day, so it's going to be a little nutty. So I'm going to do my episode 340 I'm going to try to do it at 9:00 in the morning if I can get my ass out of bed, because I'm going to be doing a lot that week. It's going to be also my birthday week. I do have birthday month, so let's buckle up and enjoy. Now, since I will be doing a preview and predictions tomorrow night after SmackDown, I will be not doing Monday Night Raw and Monday Night Raw in this. It will be on the preview and predictions, so bear with me. We're going to be getting all last week's Collision and Rampage, and this week's Dynamite and Rampage. Plus, I'll do Raw, and then I'll get you out of here. Please do me a favor. Please like, share, and subscribe. Turn on the bell for all notifications, so when I go live or upload a video, you will all know about it, including a short. Please do me a favor. Follow me on all social media, which is Instagram, Facebook, Threads, TikTok, Twitter, X, Cameo, all Mel's Mat Chat. The only difference is because of certain circumstances that I could not control. They took my old Snapchat away, but I'm back up and running. Please go check me out at it's Real Mel's Mat Chat. Real, REAL Mel's Mat Chat. You just add the real, REAL. Like I'm the real Mel's Mat Chat. So go follow me all on there. Please go do me a favor and check out Maestro Classics at maestroclassics.com and visit their website for all your beard essentials. Please go check out Liquid Death at liquiddeath.com. Visit their website for all your artillery to murder your thirst. They have regular spring water, unflavored seltzer water, flavored seltzer water, iced tea, and they have electrolyte packets. So you can take your Liquid Death game and take it to the next level. Please do me a favor and go visit Death Wish Coffee at deathwishcoffee.com. Visit their website for all your coffee essentials and sample the world's strongest coffee with the lowest acidic rate. Please do me a favor and go check out Cinco de Mayo is for Sunday. So House of Glory said, we're going to have a little bit of a Mexican festival. They're bringing all the luchas from all over the world. And they're going to have a really awesome event. And I believe it's going to be on Thriller. So go download the app, which was also formerly known as Fight TV, FITE. And they're going to have on the name of the event is La Casa del Gloria. Laredo Kid versus Casey Navarro, House of Glory World Heavyweight Champion. Mike Santana versus Psycho Clown. Mike Santana has recently signed with TNA. Congratulations to him. Sexy Star versus Violet. Penta El Zeno Miano versus Phoenix, his brother. So they're kind of like playing off with Jay and Jimmy Uso, which is pretty cool. Arrow Star will be there. Charles Mason versus Jay Lyon. Azarez is going to be there, and Dos del Informundo, LF, formerly known as the Drago from Lucha Underground. If you're a Lucha Underground fan, you're gonna fucking be crazy for this. So I'm gonna put my shirt down a little bit. There. Is compressing these. Then on May 24th, they will be having a war within House of Glory. Ken Broadway challenges AJ Francis, formerly known as Top Dollar from WWE, to a 3-on-3 match. Matt Riddle will be there. Gringo Loco will also be making its way there. That's Saturday, May 25th, Boston. Mustafa Ali, Mike Santana, Alec Price, and Sammy Callahan will be on the card. So get your tickets if you could be there at hogwrestling.net. And if you can't, please go check it out on Thriller on Fight, the formerly known as Fight TV. So let's get this party started. Let's go right into Monday Night Raw because it's the next pay-per-view. We are then going to finish up with AEW, and then I'll get you out of here. Hopefully it's less than an hour and a half, give or take. All right, Collision and Rampage results. And I'm glad that they're starting to do this. I don't understand. Rampage should not even be a thing. Get rid of Rampage. You got 2 hours of Dynamite and 2 hours Collision. You're done. All right. I'm going to give you my thoughts about the whole I've given you all my thoughts about what happened with Tony Khan. I swear to Jesus, he is becoming somebody who he refused to become. And now he's not liking it. For Christ's sakes, Vince McMahon had a neck brace and he did a better job than selling it than Tony Khan. That says a lot. Anywho. We have Collision and Rampage, and they were coming from the Daily's Place in Jacksonville, Florida. We started off with the new AEW World Heavyweight Champion, Swerve Strickland. And it's his first interview since becoming champion. So, Prince Nana, ladies and gentlemen, the man standing in front of you today is the bosses of boss. Come on, Jesus Christ. What are you doing? Watching WWE and then just basically copy and pasting. Jesus Christ. Because you're melding it with fucking Triple H and fucking The Rock. Because he's the king of kings and he's the final boss. He is the anointed one and he is the chosen one. Drew McIntyre, Madon, the similarities, come on. In professional wrestling, the man standing in front of you is one hell of a wrestler, and he's none other than the AEW World Heavyweight Champion, Swerve Strickland. Swerve Strickland, oh man, what a week we've had here in AEW. We have a new TBS champion with Willow Nightingale. Adam Copeland got missed it in the face by the House of Black. And we had Bryan Danielson and Will Ospreay tearing the house down. And then Jack Perry returned to AEW and struck Tony Khan, our CEO, our founder of AEW. No, I'm going to just reiterate. One of our founding fathers. So we're going to continue cutting out like Cody Rhodes. All right. Well, I'll see. Oh, I see what you're doing there, AEW. A man that puts all the faith in me and the EVPs. The AEW World Tag Team Champions, the Young Bucks, struck him in the middle of the ring with a pile driver. I've done nothing terrible. I have done terrible things in AEW, but something about 4 elite athletes beating down a non-fighter like Tony Khan sounds like a bitch move to me. But the most important thing happening this week was Swerve Strickland beating Samoa Joe at Dynasty and becoming your new AEW World Champion. And the best in the world who is ever holding this championship right here last week was Samoa Joe, but this week it's Swerve Strickland. The night that I won the championship, I went to my oldest daughter, and she looked at me in the face and told me she was proud of me and said she felt like she didn't know me. All the missed birthdays, dances, recitals, holidays, I can't make up for lost time, baby girl, but I can set the example and blaze the trail as the AEW World Champion and make sure this was all worth it. AEW has set some people in front of me and I've knocked them all down. I'm in a giving mood. I say we have an open challenge tonight. We entering a new era. WWE, why? In AEW and this Dynasty era, whose house? BCC, Claudio Castagnoli music hit. And Claudio walked onto the ramp. Claudio entered the ring and circled Swerve. Claudio, you're on. I guess I will be seeing you tonight, Claudio. Whose house? Claudio, it's going to be mine. I just heard from Tony Khan. It's official. The title's on the line tonight, said Tony Schiavone. There goes the fucking ranking system. I mean, Jesus Christ. They can't even adhere to that. Update on Tony Khan's medical condition. Tony Schiavone gave us all a medical update on Tony Khan, saying that Tony Khan suffered a neck injury after a cavalry attack of the Elite. Tony Khan is not medically cleared to travel and will be running the show next week, remote location. Sounds like a Vince McMahonism. Nigel, if Tony Khan isn't traveling, what happens if something goes awry on the road? Who's going to run things? I would have to think, ironically, it's maybe the EVPs. Tony Schiavone, you're out of your mind. Tony Khan will run things remotely until things clear to get back on the road, and hopefully that's very soon. The Unified World Trios Championship match. The Bang Bang Gang, Switchblade, Jay White, and the Guns, Austin and Colton, versus Action Andretti, Top Flight, Dante Martin, and Darius Martin. Jay White dropped Dante with a Dragon Screw where Jay White dropped Dante in the corner and then tagged in Colton. The Guns then crisped tandem offense on Martin. The Bang Bang gang isolated Dante in the corner and worked him over. Darius tagged and wiped out Austin with a flatliner. Darius slid out of the ring and met with a running lariat on Jay. White Action entered the fray and cleared house on the Bang Bang gang. After a Spanish fly, Action covered Austin Gunn for a near fall. Action climbed to the top turnbuckle, but Jay White knocked down the ref and was distracted. Dante jumped off the top, but Jay White countered with a Uranagi. The Guns nailed Darius with a 310 to Yuma. Action scored a thrust kick and a shotgun drop kick to Jay White. Action tried for a handspring back elbow, but Jay White was waiting for him, blasting Action with a Blade Runner and scoring the pin. The House of Black was dire warning for the TNT champion Adam Copeland. The House of Black said they accepted the Cope Open May 1st in Winnipeg. You'll find out who you're facing when the rest of the world finds out, said Buddy Matthews. The return of Rey Fenix versus the Beast Mortros. That's like, I am sorry if I fucked it up. The Beast Mortros grabbed Rey Fenix by the neck and hurled Rey into the turnbuckles. Mortros powerslammed Phoenix. For a man this size, the Beast can move, said Tony Schiavone. The Beast Mortros connected with a twisting tornado on Rey Fenix. Mortros charged into Rey Fenix with a running lariat and then a discus lariat. Mortros grapevine Rey Fenix legs and attacked them, wrenching back. Rey managed to roll to the ropes and forcing the ref to break the submission hold. The Beast Mortros tried to tear and rip at Rey Fenix's mask. Mortros steamrolled Rey Fenix, ramming Rey to the mat. Rey rallied back, rocking Beast Mortros with kicks to the jaw. Rey springboarded off the ropes, but the Beast speared Rey in the sternum. Somehow, Rey Fenix found the strength to wallop the Beast with a tornado from the top. The Beast countered a tombstone pile drive with a lung blower to Rey Fenix. Win or lose or draw, the Beast has made statement here tonight, said Nigel. Rey Fenix served up series of thrust kicks. Rey Fenix took flight with a frog splash, but Beast kicked out at the count of 2. The Beast grabbed Rey by the throat, but this time Rey cradled Beast and pinned him, and he picked up the win. Up next, Lofaccio and Corables. And I got it right! Holy shit! It took me 2 fucking years, but I got the damn fucking thing right. Rush versus Martin Stone. Martin Stone, if you're hearing that as it rings a bell, he's I believe was Danny Burch in WWE. He was part of the Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch tag team, the 1 and 2. So Rush German suplex Stone and followed up with a running knee strike. Rush rammed Stone into the steel guardrail. Rush whipped Stone in the TV with the TV camera cables. Stone charged at Rush, but Rush countered with a suplex into the turnbuckles. Rush smashed Stone with a bull's horn and pinned Stone. No one is kicking out of that, said Nigel. Rush continued to attack Martin Stone after the match, putting an exclamation point at the end of the sentence. The Professor, Serena Deeb, was backstage with a message for AEW Women's World Champion Timeless Toni Storm. Excuse me. This is now and forever the Professor. After 4 years to everyone telling me I should go for the gold, it's time to prove it. Tony, this is in a movie, sweetie. This is real life. AEW Women's World Champion Timeless Storm versus Anna Jay. Anna used the snapmare takeover. Tony Storm hit a Fez press on Anna Jay. Tony Storm charged at Anna Jay with a hip attack, inadvertently knocking Anna Jay into Mariah May. Tony checked on Mariah May, and as Tony was returning to the ring, Anna Jay rocked Tony with a guillotine neckbreaker. Anna Jay replied to Queen Slater in the ring. Tony Storm managed to get to her feet and slammed herself backwards on Anna Jay. Tony Storm cracked Anna Jay with a hip attack and then pinned Anna Jay after the Storm Zero. It was weird that it was just over like that. Something was missing, honestly. The challenge is out from the Professor Serena D, but the champion wins again, said Tony Schiavone. I hope that these guys get their way back to WWE, because they would be perfect with hopefully the rebuilding of the tag team divisions on SmackDown, Raw, or NXT. So we have the Grizzled Young Veterans, James Drake and Zach Gibson, the Grizzled Young Veterans, versus the Acclaim. The Grizzled Young Veterans worked over Caster in the European wrestling style. Bowens tagged in and nailed Drake with a neck breaker across Caster's knees. Gibson grabbed a blind tag, and the Grizzled Young Veterans used their seamless tandem offense on Bowens. Drake used Gibson and launched a launching pad to a dropkick Bowens, knocking Bowens off the apron ring. Him and slammed Caster to the mat and taunted Daddy Ass. Bowens managed to tag in, and both took on both of JYV. Bowens connected with the Sesame Timbers on Drake. Gibson and Caster cornered. Drake drilled Caster with a running drop kick as Gibson and had Caster sandwiched against the turnbuckles. Gibson backdropped Caster over the top rope onto the ramp. Gibson held Bowens in one corner of the ring. Jake drop kicked Bowens. Gibson held Bowens in the corner while Drake drop kicked Bowens with the opposite quarter turnbuckle. Daddy Ass is beside himself, said Nigel. The JYV taunted Billy, but Caster came back out of nowhere and hit Drake with a clothesline. After a slam from Bowens, Caster smashed Gibson with a mic drop and pinned Gibson for the 3 count. Wow, they earned that one, said Tony Schiavone. The Acclaim escaped with a victory, but the JYV made a statement, replied Nigel. Collision main event, AEW World Championship match. Swerve Strickland versus Claudio Castagnoli. The chain wrestle started the match. Claudio caught Swerve midair, countered with a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. They brawled onto the ramp, onto the stage. Swerve clocked Claudio with a clothesline back in the ring. Swerve followed up with a crossbody press. Swerve staggered Claudio with 2 reverse neck breakers. Swerve hit a third back neck breaker, then using the middle rope to put more pressure on Claudio's neck. Claudio grabbed Swerve off the apron and press slammed him against the concrete staging. The champ rallied back with a pump kick to Claudio. Swerve served up a flying European uppercut to Claudio. Swerve planted Claudio with a flatliner for a near fall. Swerve ran off the stage and crashed onto Claudio with a moonsault. Swerve landed 450 splash on Claudio for a near fall. Claudio stomped Swerve. The champion got right back up, and he and Claudio traded European uppercuts in the center of the ring. Claudio had a head of steam and wiped out Swerve with a lariat. Fans chanted, "This is awesome. This is awesome." Swerve followed an incredible strength, hoisted up Claudio with a vertical suplex, planted him. The champion jumped from the top rope with Swerve stomp. Claudio kicked out at the count of 2. Claudio dodged a house call kick and countered with a giant swing. Claudio put Swerve in the sharpshooter. Claudio transitioned into a crossface in the center of the ring. Claudio used a hammer and anvil strikes on Swerve. Claudio turned Swerve inside out with a running lariat for a near fall. Swerve escaped a neutralizer attempt and spiked Claudio with a DDT Swerve attempt. Swerve attempted a Swerve stomp, but Claudio caught him and countered with a European uppercut. for a near fall. Claudio caught Swerve stomp, and Tony Schiavone is in disbelief. Swerve rocked Claudio with a release German suplex. Swerve finally hit the Swerve stomp. Swerve finished Claudio with a house call and pinned Claudio. What a way for Swerve to make his first defense of the AEW World title. But boy, he had earned it, said Nigel. We'll find out at Dynamite on Wednesday who Swerve will face at Double or Nothing on Sunday, May 26th, added Tony Schiavone. Yes, I will be covering that. So we go from, because they doubled with Rampage, which was on the back end of Collision. And we started off with a parking lot fight, Chuck Taylor versus Trent Beretta. Trent whacked Taylor with a trash can lid. Trent slammed a garbage can on the top of Chuck. Chuck powerbombed Trent onto the hood of a car. Trent jumped off the truck and dropped a elbow on the top of Chuck, who himself was on the roof of another car. Chuck suplexed Trent through a door and has been propped up onto a car. Chuck hit Trent with a garage can and then a dustpan. Chuck climbed onto a truck, but Trent grabbed Chuck and body slammed Chuck onto a light bulb tubes. Chuck rallied chokehold, and Trent won via ref stoppage as Chuck was unconscious. Trent grabbed a plumber's wrench. Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander walked over to Trent and begged him to stop. Trent used a plumber's wrench and battered Chuck's ankle with it. Trent retreated with Chris while Chris held Orange back. Trent is out of his mind, said Tony Schiavone. This is beyond wrestling at this point, replied Matt Menard. Don Callis was shown scanning the match on the screen. We have La Meta Thunder Rosa versus the Virtuosa, Deonna Purrazzo. Thunder Rosa ground and pounded Deonna. The Virtuoso tied Thunder Rosa in the ropes and drop kicked her. Thunder Rosa knocked Deonna down with a running drop kick of her own. Deonna scored a pump kick. Thunder Rosa mounted a comeback with a double stomp. Thunder Rosa jumped off the top turnbuckle, but Deonna countered with a Fujiwara armbar. Thunder Rosa escaped, rolled up Deonna, and pinned Deonna. As Thunder Rosa was leaving the ring, Deonna shoved her from behind. Deonna pushed Thunder Rosa onto the steel guardrail, and they brawled on the stage in front of the fans. Security had to separate the two wrestlers. Big Bill versus Trevor Blackwell. Big Bill blasted Blackwell with a massive boot to the face. Big Bill splashed Trevor in the turnbuckles. FTW champion Jericho was watching Big Bill's onslaught on the monitor backstage. Big Bill planted Trevor with a sidewalk slam. Big Bill followed up with a big lariat. Big Bill choke slammed Trevor with a one-arm pin. Chris Jericho has got to be impressed with that, said Matt Menard. And the main event of Rampage. How quickly we get through Rampage. Shane Taylor promotion. Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty versus Daniel Garcia and Katsuri Shibata. Garcia clotheslined Moriarty and followed up with 3 consecutive twisting neck breakers. Taylor on the outside of the ring tripped Garcia and spiked him with a DDT on the arena floor. Taylor tagged in and walloped Garcia with an overhand chop. Taylor decked Garcia and splashed him for a near fall. Daniel dodged a splash with Taylor, but Lee stopped Garcia from making the tag. Garcia hit back body driver on Lee Moriarty. Daniel Garcia finally reached Shibata for a hot tag. Shibata smashed Shane Taylor with a high boot and then a running pump kick. Shibata leveled Lee with a forearm. Shibata blistered Shane with a chops in the corner. Garcia rocked Taylor with a running knee strike. Shibata and Garcia double-teamed suplex Taylor. Shibata applied the sleeper hold to Moriarty, and Garcia jumped on Taylor's back, applying the sleeper to Taylor. Shibata mauled Moriarty with a PK kick and pinned Moriarty. So we're going to be going right to Dynamite and another episode of Rampage. And they are going to be from the Canada Life Center in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. So that is that. So remember, Mother's Day is coming up. So if your mother likes coffee, your mother likes salsa water, go get it. 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 And if you're in the Metro Wave area and she likes wrestling, go take her to a wrestling show. HOGwrestling.net. We opened the show with AEW co-founder, because I'm gonna go into edit that. GM Tony Khan via satellite from Jacksonville, Florida. Tony, I wish I could be there tonight. Unfortunately, I'm not cleared to travel to the actions of the AEW EVP Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, and the satellite feed was abruptly cut off due to the meddling hands of Matthew and Nick Jackson at the production truck control board. It looked like something that Shawn Michaels and Triple H have done. Tell me when I'm telling lies. Seriously. Nicholas feigned an apology, saying that we're having technical difficulties and lost connection with Tony Khan in Jacksonville. Matthew said it was okay that Tony wasn't there because the Bucks were there. Matthew said they were trying to fire. They weren't fired after injuring Tony Khan last week due to their ironclad contracts with a founder's clause in them. Matthew said that their contracts also stated in the event that Tony Khan could run the show live at the arena, the EVPs have the right to take over. In other words, we're in charge now, said Matthew Jackson. Jesus, it's like fucking Shawn Michaels and Triple H. Paul Levesque. I mean, Jesus Christ. Can you please stop cutting and pasting? I mean, if I want to watch WWE, I'll just solely watch WWE. Then I don't have to watch Dynamite because it's cut and paste. Please. With that being said, Matthew, let's run the new show open, added Nicholas Jackson. The new Dynamite Open package showcased the highlights of the montage of the Elite, the Bucks, Okada, and Jack Perry. The AEW World Champion Swerve Strickland came to the ring with Prince Nana. Swerve, 3 matches, 3 shows in 1 week. That is the type of champion that All Elite deserves, and the type of champion that Swerve said he was going to be. What All Elite Wrestling does not deserve is selfish, power-hungry EVPs who are throwing their weights around. I'll handle that at some point, but first we need to discuss my opponent at Double or Nothing. I don't know who is it going to be, but whoever it is, please wipe your feet before you walk into my house. Matthew and Nicholas Jackson appeared on the big screen from the production truck. Oh my God, I feel like I'm watching back like 10 years ago on Raw. The Bucks said they believe that maybe Swerve's success has gone to their heads. I think it's the other way around here. And he needs a dose of humility. So they are going to arrange the perfect opponent for Swerve at Double or Nothing. Nicholas says hit the opponent's music. The Patriarch, Christian Cage music began to play, and Christian Cage walked to the ring and Mother Wayne, Nick Wayne, and Killswitch. Christian Cage was about to speak on the microphone. Instead, Swerve hit a cheap shot. Swerve got back to his feet and slugged back at Christian. Nick Wayne and Killswitch. Swerve pulled up short as Mother Wayne As Mother Wayne glared into Swerve's eyes, Kill Switch grabbed Swerve from behind and wiped out Swerve and Prince Nana with headbutts. Christian Cage crushed Swerve with Kill Switch onto the AEW World title. Nick Wayne nailed Prince Nana with Wayne's World. Christian Cage, Swerve, there's something that you should know about me. I never forget. I haven't forgotten that some months ago you broke into my son Nick Wayne's gym and you left him in a pool of his own blood. I haven't forgot that one time you and I were a tag team and the biggest show history in the history of this business, and you lost. You embarrassed me. I've been waiting for the right moment to make you answer for those mistakes, and it seems like no better time than right now to make you pay for those mistakes. I'm going to embarrass you at the same time. Wait, sorry. I'm going to embarrass you the same you embarrassed me. I'm going to make sure you're a footnote in AEW history. I heard your little speech last week, Swerve, about your path to the world title, to the point where your daughter feels like she doesn't even know you. Well, Swerve, I'm finished with you. Your daughter's not going to know you, but I can promise you this, your daughter's going to have a father she can be proud of for the rest of her life. I'm going to walk into AEW Double or Nothing. I'm going to rip the AEW World Championship out of your hand. But Swerve, know this, the pain has just begun. Killswitch tore a chunk of hair out of Swerve's head. Christian Cage just put the World Champion on notice for Double or Nothing in Vegas, said Taz. Hold on. Get some. So we go right into the Cope Open. Copeland brought down Buddy with a side head. It was Buddy Matthews who answered the Cope Open takeover. Matthews sprung to his feet. Buddy used its head scissors on Copeland. Buddy charged at Copeland, but Copeland used a low bridge and followed up with a tope suicida. Buddy entered the ring and drilled Copeland with a DDT. Buddy stomped on Copeland's back. Buddy Matthews connected with a roundhouse round kick to Copeland's back. Copeland and Buddy duked it out on the top turnbuckle. I think he's giving a little bit more of oomph because, Rhea Ripley can never escape. I mean, come on now. He can never escape Rhea Ripley. And I love it. Buddy stomped on Copeland's back. Buddy Matthews connected with a roundhouse kick to Copeland's back. Copeland and Buddy duked it out on the top turnbuckle and knocked one another down on the arena floor. Back in the ring, they traded forearms. Both men charged at one another and collided with a crossbody press. Clear, both having the same idea. AEW medical staff entered the ring to check on Buddy, who began spitting blood from the hit. Buddy was able to get back to his feet despite the compromised midsection. Buddy powerbombed Copeland for a near fall. Buddy tried for another powerbomb, but Copeland countered with a kick to Buddy's midsection. Copeland blasted Buddy with a avalanche impaler, but Buddy kicked out at the count of two. The packed arena, which wasn't packed. AEW, 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 they were screaming. Copeland tried for a spear, but Buddy Matthews blocked it with three knee strikes and a jackhammer for a near fall. Buddy transitioned right out of the kick out of the crossface submission. Copeland escaped and speared Buddy Matthews to score the pin. It was a great effort by Buddy Matthews, but damage to his midsection turned out to be his undoing, said Excalibur. Copeland attacked Buddy after the match, sending message to the House of Black. Copeland grabbed two steel chairs. The mist in Copeland's eyes made him crazy, said Shivani. Copeland set up Buddy for a concerto. The lights went out in the arena. When the lights returned, Malachi was standing in the ring beside Copeland. Black told Copeland to hit Buddy with the chair. Buddy smiled and at Copeland and said, "Do it." Copeland raised the chair in the arena and went black again. The lights came back on, and this time the House of Black were gone. Just a complete head game, typical of the House of Black. You know, Edge did the exact same thing in WWE, Adam Copeland. So, but he just learns, from his beautiful soon-to-be bride. Samoa Joe versus Isaiah Cassidy. Cassidy turned Samoa Joe and taunted Samoa Joe until Joe shoved Cassidy into the corner. Joe hoisted up Cassidy and planted him onto the mat. Samoa Joe battered Cassidy in the corner and with strikes. Isaiah caught Joe with a cutter. Cassidy jumped over the top rope, but Samoa Joe walked away. Cassidy crashed onto the arena floor. Samoa Joe blocked a monkey flip and countered with a muscle buster to Cassidy. Samoa Joe hooked Cassidy's leg and pinned him. When he threw him up, you should have heard the shriek. It was like a little girl. It was like, oh my, it was crazy. It was hilarious. Sky Blue had a message for the TBS champion Willow Nightingale. Sky Blue called Willow a fraud. If it wasn't for Stokely, I would have had beaten you last time. I would have had your number. If you're even half a champion, you say you are. Come put championship on the line tonight on Rampage, which is right at the back end of Dynamite. We have Orange Cassidy. He goes to the ring. Orange, I hate this. I thought after Sunday when my best friends Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta beat each other up, I could get each other up and would get everything out of their systems. We come back in the ring and stand together as best friends. But that's never going to happen. I've been told that because of what Trent did Chuck after the match, my best friend Chuck Taylor will never wrestle again. So now I'm standing in the ring alone. Trent, that the next time I see you, Trent, wow, what a big surprise. Orange Cassidy's trying to make this about himself. Orange charged up the ramp at Trent. AEW security jumped in the way, and Trent yelled for them to hold Orange back. Trent, you're too selfish, Orange. That's why it happened. Chuck's career is over because of you, not me. Chris Statlander came out to calm down Orange Cassidy. Don Callis walked out and whispered into Orange's ear. Callis put his arm around Orange, and the two men walked away. Can Orange be suffering a heel turn? Renee Paquette was backstage to interview World Tag Team Champions, the Young Bucks, Nick and Matt Jackson. Matt asked if Renee bumped into their old friend, and Renee said no. Nicholas said they want to give some TV time to their good friend, the Scapegoat, Jack Perry. Jack, I meant what I said last week when I told Tony the only thing I wanted was what was best for AEW, and that's exactly what I did. Tony made me a scapegoat. I realized it was a sacrifice somebody was going to have to make, but we all have to sacrifice, and thanks to Tony, we're entering a new era under the Elite. Wow, does this sound familiar? Remember when they had the curtain call? And Triple H was the guy that had to take all the shit because somebody had to do it. Wow. This is so original, right? Come on. FTW champion Chris Jericho versus Katsuri Shibata. Oh my God, what the fuck is happening to Jericho? He used to be so fit. It's ridiculous. Jericho and Shibata traded chops. Jericho connected with a lion soul. Jericho pulled a trash can lid from beneath the ring and whacked Shibata in the head with it. Jericho pulled out a bag of hockey pucks and emptied it in the ring. Shibata suplexed Jericho onto the hockey pucks. Shibata and Jericho blistered each other's chests with more stiff shots. Jericho threw a hockey puck in Shibata's face. Jericho put the lion tamer on Shibata. Shibata countered with a figure four. Jericho grabbed another hockey puck and threw it at Shibata's mouth. Jericho grabbed a trash can and put it over the head of Shibata. Jericho smashed a kendo stick against the trash can. Shibata got to his feet, trash can still on the head, and backed Jericho into the corner. Shibata headbutted Jericho with a trash can still on his head. That was still on his head. Shibata drop kicked the trash can against Jericho's chest. Jericho grabbed two kendo sticks. He tossed one to Jericho and kept one kendo stick for himself. They sat in the middle of the mat, a la CM Punk style. They sat on the mat and hit one another with kendo stick shots. Shibata suplexed Jericho onto the hockey pucks. Shibata grabbed a table from beneath the ring and slid it into the ring. Shibata popped a table against the turnbuckles. Shibata charged at Jericho, but Jericho countered with a code breaker for a near fall. Shibata countered the Judas effect for a near rear naked chokehold. Shibata leveled Jericho with an overhead chop. Shibata grabbed the table in the corner and moved on the mat. Big Bill ran into the ring, blasted Shibata with a massive boot onto Shibata's head. Big Bill chokeslammed Shibata through the table. Jericho covered Shibata, taking advantage of the assist from Big Bill and pinned Shibata. Renee Paquette was backstage with TBS champion Willow Nightingale, Chris Statlander, and Stokely Hathaway. Chris, I want to say I'm so sorry because the CEO, Mercedes Moné, has no reason to be out here. I tried to diffuse the situation and get back to you. Willow, I'm just so sorry. Willow, lucky for Blue Sky tonight, last week left me fighting mood. That Mercedes, don't you think I've forgotten about you? I've got something for you. The Young Bucks sent a message via text to Chris and Stokely. We're banned from ringside tonight. And if there's any interference, will be stripped of the TBS championship. I guess Miss Monet is kissing the Young Bucks ass. The Mogul Embassy, Brian Cage, and my God, what the hell's wrong with him? I mean, I know he was home. He just welcomed another baby boy with his wife, Melissa Santos, but Jesus Christ. Is he getting ready to jump to WWE? Because I know that you can't have, because I know Tony Khan allows steroids. And if you don't know, yeah, he does. He lets pretty much everything go. And he's facing Claudio Castagnoli. Both men charged forward and clubbed each other with elbow strikes. They switched up running lariats. Brian Cage suplexed Claudio, but Claudio answered with the European uppercuts. I knew you'd like that one. Both men charged forward and clubbed each other with elbow strikes. They switched up running lariats. Brian Cage suplexed Claudio, but Claudio answered with the European uppercuts and suplexes. Claudio clobbered Cage with a backbreaker. Claudio scooped, slammed Cage, and stuffed forward, then shuffled forward and double stomped. Brian Cage clocked Claudio with a vertical suplex from outside the ring back into the ring. Brian Cage blasted Claudio with an area code shot and then a discus lariat for a near fall. Claudio jumped off the ropes and connected with the European uppercuts. Claudio rocked Cage with an area code shot. Claudio dropped Cage with a pop-up European uppercut. Claudio hurled Cage around with a giant swing. Claudio put Cage in the sharpshooter, and Cage was forced to tap out. Brian, Paul wants to speak to you. He'll use you properly. Mariah May versus the Professor Serena Deeb. This was basically just to get the match for her at Double or Nothing. This was nothing more than like, all right, exclamation point, you got it. Deep trapped Mariah with a paradise lock. Deep drop kicked Mariah. Deep followed up with a shoulder tackle. Mariah rocked Deep with an explosive elbow strike to Deep's jaw. Mariah walloped Deep with a drop kick. Deep rallied back with a guillotine neck breaker on May. Deep followed up with a swinging neck breaker. Deep snapped Mariah with a German suplex. Mariah May rallied back with a drop kick from the top rope. Mariah connected with a hip attack in the corner for a near fall. May headbutted Deep and wiped out Deep with his suplex. Mariah was looking for a handstand Hurricane Rana, but Deep countered with a single leg grab. Deep wrenched back, and Toni Storm threw the towel in. The ref awarded the match to Deeb. It's official, Double or Nothing. With a victory, Serena Deeb will challenge Timeless Toni Storm for the AEW Women's World Championship at said Excalibur. Renee Paquette was interviewing TNT champion Adam Copeland backstage. Kyle O'Reilly approaches Copeland and he said he didn't dig what the House of Black were doing to Copeland, and if Copeland ever needed a backup, Kyle would be watching. Copeland said he was facing Brody King next week, and it's appreciated. Up next, another EVP. Oh my God. And they called Triple H and Shawn Michaels egomaniacs. Wow, they really are not even hiding it anymore. Kenny Omega, I've been good at all sorts of stuff, talking injuries, sickness, and weakness. A few months back, I was diagnosed with diverticulitis. That is what Brock Lesnar has and has had. But spending 10 days in the hospital, the doctors told me, Kenny, you're one of the lucky ones. You were 24 hours away from dying. So to that, I said, cool story, Doc. When can you patch me up and send me back to Dynamite? Hi, Gangsta Man 10. How are you? And Mr. Zacky Boy. He said, Kenny, it's not that simple. We need to get what's in you out of you. And if we cut you open now, you may have to have a bag for possibly for the rest of your life. So I said, doctor, and if I don't, he said, that's fine. For the rest of your life, you're going to have ticking time bomb. But you might wake up one day in the hospital having surgery done to you anyway. Any blunt force trauma to your stomach could kill you. And since that day, I had to stop watching. I had to stop watching because my hand would shake. I was scared for the first time in my career. I felt pathetic. I felt like a coward. And maybe the point today, this whole thing has come out and explained to you that I had to retire. And then I did something. I turned on AEW for the first time in the other day, and I watched Dynamite. And I swerved when he watched Dynasty. He watched Dynasty. I saw Swerve make history. I saw Will Ospreay and Danielson put on one of the greatest matches I've ever seen in my life. And I wish I could say I was happy, but when I look back down and my hands were shaking again, and the tremors got worse. And I thought, wait a minute, am I really scared of being a wrestler? And that's not what it was. When I heard all of you chanting my name, I was scared, but the reason I was shaking because I was going through withdrawals because he was withdrawing from not being able to compete. I needed to be back in the ring. Living is being in the ring. Being called the best is what fueled me. I hate that I've already been forgotten, so I made a promise to myself, each and every one of you. This isn't over. Until I exhausted every last option. If there's a 10% chance, a 5% chance, or a 1% chance, bag or no bag, you guys aren't done with Kenny Omega. I made the mission statement to change the world, and that brings me to the second piece of business. Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, you've been running roughshod over this company, and it's embarrassing yourself. I've never been a fucking Kenny Omega fan so quickly. And you've been free to do what to do that as an EVP, but you forget there's also another EVP. I may be fired from the elite, but you can't fire me as an EVP. So, as far as I'm concerned, until someone says otherwise, the part of the power in this company belongs to the best bout machine. AEW's Continental Champion, the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada, comes out. Omega, the Rainmaker, best bout machine. It's funny, we had a bit of rivalry in New Japan. What do you say? You give me a couple of months and we settle it right here in an AEW ring. How does that grab you? Okada, I'm sorry, Kenny. I'm the best bout machine now. Shots have been fired. Okada gave a steel chair to Jack Perry. Omega ducked it. Chair shot from Perry. Kenny fired back with jabs to Jack Perry. Kenny nailed Jack with a snapmare dragon suplex. Kenny was about to go for a V trigger, and then Okada tripped up Kenny from the outside of the ring. Jack seized the opportunity and hit Kenny with the midsection with his steel chair. Matthew and Nicholas Jackson came into the ring. The Young Bucks blasted Omega with an EVP trigger. FTR sprinted to the ring to chase off the new elite. So we're going to go into Rampage. FTR and AEW medical staff helping Omega onto a stretcher. Kenny is in bad shape, guys, said Taz. The medical staff and FTR are bringing Kenny Omega to an ambulance where they were attacked by the new elite. The Bucks flipped the stretcher over, sending Kenny tumbling onto the concrete. Daddy Magic, Matt Menard joined the broadcast booth on Rampage. We have the Unified World Trios Champion Switchblade Jay White versus Dante Martin. Jay White chopped Dante in the corner. Dante connected with a tope suicida on Switchblade. Dante clocked White with a jumping knee strike. Dante was looking for a springboard, but Jay White had it scouted and tripped Dante, causing Dante to lose his balance and fall hard on the mat. Dante rallied back with a crossbody press for a near fall on Jay White. Dante sent Jay over the top rope onto the floor with a clothesline. Jay White lured Dante with a Uranagi for a 2 count back in the ring. Dante hit a nosedive out of nowhere for a near fall. Jay White fired back with a sleeper suplex and then the Blade Runner to score the pin victory. Jay White attacked Dante after the match until Darius in action sprinted down to even up the odds. The Virtuosa, Deonna Purrazzo, had a message for Thunder Rosa. Deonna Purrazzo, when is it enough? Last week I'm starting to feel like myself. If Thunder Rosa wants to make it this personal, can make it personal. Do you know what happens when you make things personal with the Jersey Girl? I hope you never find out. Renee Paquette was backstage with Big Bill. Big Bill, I have the tools necessary to make it to the top of the industry. The one thing missing is a proper guidance, and I think Jericho has given me that guidance. This is going to help me reach my fullest potential. So, Chris, I proclaim to you one more time, teach me. Learning tree. FTW champion Chris Jericho walked onto the set. Jericho, listen, Big Bill, I heard what you said, Big Bill, the way that you were cheering me on tonight. It made me realize that you were right. So I would love to take you into the Jericho vortex and take you part of the learning tree if you'll have me. Big Bill, Chris, I will not let you down. Rocky Romero versus Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle and Rocky chain wrestled with Kyle getting a wrist lock on Rocky. Rocky drop kicked his way out. Rocky applied an arm bar, but Kyle escaped and transitioned onto the ankle lock. Rocky escaped and hit a tope to Kyle. Rocky went for another tope, but Kyle caught him and applied an arm bar on the floor. Kyle knew he couldn't win the match on the floor, so he relinquished the hold. Rocky nailed Kyle with an avalanche sliced bread for near fall. Kyle clobbered Rocky with a flurry of offense. Rocky had an armbar applied, but Kyle countered with a quick roll-up and pinned Rocky. Nothing too weird. Backstage, Saraya and Harley Cameron demanded some time to be heard. Harley, we should talk about Mariah May. Tiny Storm. Mariah, since you enjoy quitting so much. Why don't you do it again next Wednesday on Dynamite with me? Rampage main event, TBS champion Manitoba Massacre, Willow Nightingale versus Sky Blue. Willow backed Blue with whacked Blue with a trash can lid. They brawled over the barricade into the stands. Sky Blue jumped off the barricade, but Willow countered with a chair shot for a near fall. Willow attempted to flip off the apron onto Sky, who was sitting on the steel chair. But Sky moved. Willow crashed onto the steel chair. Willow pounced Sky Blue on the arena floor. Willow placed a Sky chair against Sky in the turnbuckle. Willow was looking for a cannonball dive, but Sky threw a chair at Willow. Sky Blue grabbed a bag and poured out the thumbtacks into the ring. Willow planted Sky with an avalanche fisherman bomb into the tacks for a near fall. The champ set up a table outside the ring. Back in the ring, Willow escaped a code blue from Sky and body slammed Blue Sky onto the steel chair. Willow went for a moonsault, but Blue dodged it. Sky Blue pulled a barbed wire board out from beneath the ring and placed it on the table. Sky Blue was looking for a Death Valley driver, but Willow countered with a Dr. Bomb off the apron, putting Sky Blue from the barbed wire table and pinning Blue. So next Wednesday, they're going to be at Rogers Place in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. So we're going to go right into SmackDown from last week. Remember, I'm going live after SmackDown at 10:15 tomorrow night with preview and prediction. So you're going to get Monday and this Friday's go home show. So after this, I'm done. So let's go to SmackDown and then we'll get you out of here. Sorry, it's business. Sorry. I'm like trying to do 15,000 million things this week. You know, it's a struggle. All right, this is the beginning of the draft from last week. So the lineup for last week's SmackDown was the night one of the draft. So they had Cody Rhodes do a signing with AJ Styles. CM Punk will make his return. And we had Rey Mysterio. And wait a second. There was a tag team, LWO, WWE Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Legado del Fantasma. And what's next for the Bloodline? Solo Sequoia and his MFT Tama Tonga. Let me quickly check this. The show opens up with a video of the undisputed WWE champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, signing weight belts backstage. The phenomenal AJ Styles was shown walking outside the building. Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair was shown walking backstage. We then head to the arena where a draft podium was set up. Corey Graves and Wade Barrett welcome us to the show, and Graves goes over the draft rules. And I pegged it with the two fucking matches last week. The tag team match with Orton and Owens and Tonga and Sequoia, and the women's tag team champions. Pay me. Pay me. We head to the back where Kayla Braxton with a special counsel, WWE Hall of Famer, the wise man Paul Heyman. Heyman starts off by saying that the tribal chief Roman Reigns has withdrawn from the 2024 WWE draft. Heyman then says it's not negative but a positive. Heyman then runs down all of Reigns' accomplishments and asks why would he hug the number one draft pick spotlight when he won't be returning in the immediate future. Heyman then says the pressure is now on SmackDown, general manager Nick Aldis, and he is intrigued. We then head to Jackie Redmond, who is in Orlando. Orlando at the WWE Performance Center, and crowd is loud as NXT superstars sat in chairs. Redmond then asked who is the next and sends it back to Corey Graves, where Corey Graves is standing in the middle of the ring. Graves then announced he will be moderating the upcoming contract signing. So the phenomenal AJ Styles makes his way down to the ring for the undisputed WWE Championship contract signing for their match at Backlash, which is this weekend in France. Undisputed WWE Champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, makes his way down to the ring. Corey Graves hands the contract over to AJ Styles and looks it over, and the fans voice their support for Cody Rhodes. Styles starts off by saying before he signs the contract, 2 Georgia bars are ready to mix it up for the biggest prize in the game. Styles then says he understands why fans boo him. He doesn't respect LA Knight as Knight gets underneath his skin. Styles then says he's got his composure back and realizes that he's phenomenal, which is how he beat Knight last week and secured his undisputed WWE Championship match with Rhodes at Backlash. Styles then addresses Rhodes and says while they haven't crossed paths, they both had to prove themselves outside WWE. Styles then says Dusty Rhodes gave them both the same advice about standing on their own 2 feet, and they're going their own way. Styles then says the weight isn't just for the leather and the gold at Backlash. He carries it. Styles then signs the contract. Codes then asks Cincinnati what they want to talk about. Hey, Larry. Hey, Queen. You're looking fab today. Thank you so much, Larry. I love you. And says they could talk about respect. Rhodes then says there's a lot of locker room on Earth. There is not a locker room on Earth where everyone doesn't respect Styles. Rhodes then says he respects the Rhodes. Styles has traveled to get to WWE, but respect goes to the wayside as at Backlash. Rhodes then says he respects Styles from that familiarity with his last name. But when he puts his first name in front of his last name, they have never met before. Rhodes then says his match with Styles isn't a dream match, but a must win. Rhodes then signs the contract and offers his hand to Styles. Styles then tells Rhodes it's a shame his reign has to end at Backlash, and then shakes his hand and heads to the back. Rhodes then picks up his title and holds it above his head. They will have a face-to-face tomorrow night. And they will be in France tomorrow night. So I have no idea. Are they going to tape it? I don't know what's going to go on. So you just got to have to keep on Twitter. And follow me there. Mel'S Mat Chat. WWE content officer Paul Levesque makes his way out to the ring for the first round of the 2024 draft. Triple H welcomes everyone to the first round of the 2024 draft, and he's joined by the undisputed WWE champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Triple H then talks about the Raw and SmackDown general managers, then says Rhodes will be staying on SmackDown. Rhodes then announces Bianca Belair is the number one draft pick to SmackDown. She's the number overall. Triple H then says the main event, Jey Uso has been drafted to Monday Night Raw as the number two draft pick, but the number one over there. Rhodes then announces Carmelo Hayes has been drafted to SmackDown as the number 3 pick. Triple H then announces Seth freaking Rollins is the number 4 draft pick and has been drafted to Raw. Carmelo Hayes then makes his way out with a microphone in hand. Hayes starts off by saying when they talk about who's next up, who's the hottest out, they call him Whoop That Trick. Champ breaks out. Hayes then speaks to Cody Rhodes and says when he shoots, he doesn't miss. Yes, he does miss occasionally, but he does miss. And as a first-round draft pick, he couldn't think of a better way to shoot his shot than to shoot it against Cody. Hayes then puts a microphone down. Cody then picks up the microphone and teased with the crowd about the possibility of wrestling tonight. Cody then accepts Hayes' challenge for later in the show. Now that's a fucking way to get introduced to everybody. That is fucking awesome. And it goes to show you what Cody Rhodes is to WWE. And that's now why he's now the face. You know, Roman is now back, is now in, what is it? Hollywood. He's basically trying to do everything. He's trying to do everything to get him his health up and whatnot. So, let him do his thing. Because when he comes back, forget it. He's gonna be a baby face, basically. My boobs are not fucking cooperating today. We go into a tag team match. LWO, WWE Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Legado del Fantasma, Angel and Berto. The match starts off with Berto and Dragon Lee. Berto blasts Lee with a clothesline, but Lee responds with a Hurricane Rana that goes flying out of the ring to land on Berto. Lee then gets Berto back in the ring and climbs to the top, then hits Berto with a crossbody. Rey then hits Angel with a Hurricane Rana and climbs to the top. Rey then hits Angel with a senton and a boot to Angel's midsection, then follows up with a code red and goes for a pin. Angel kicks out and Berto tries to nail Rey. Rey then sends Berto over the top rope and out of the ring and then sends him crashing onto the ropes and Lee tags Lee in. Rey then hits Angel with a 619 and Lee follows up with a Project Dragon for the win. After the match, LWO celebrates inside the ring. Santos Escobar and Electric Lopez make their way out, and Escobar says he's not a liar. Escobar then says he didn't attack Dragon Lee and plays the footage of Carlito being the one who attacked Lee. Carlito then sends Lee crashing onto Rey Mysterio and hits Lee with a backstabber. Carlito then retreats through the crowd. Braun Breaker makes his way down to the ring for the next match with Cedric Alexander. I'm legitimately, you blinked, this was over. I understand what they're doing, but Jesus Christ. Don't make this guy look like Goldberg or anything. This guy can actually wrestle, Alexander looking to hit a springboard cutter on Breaker. Breaker stops Alexander and hits him with a spear for the win. There was a video of what transpired last week between WWE Women's Champion Bayley, Naomi, and Tiffany Stratton is then shown. SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis was then shown walking out of his office and was stopped by Tiffany Stratton. Stratton asks Aldis for a title match, and Aldis says that tonight Stratton will face Naomi once again, and the winner will face Bayley at Backlash for the WWE Women's Championship. Stratton then asked whose idea was that, and it was Bayley's, and saying it was her idea. Stratton then invites Bayley to sit ringside during her match. Michelle McCool and WWE, I think Hall of Famer Tori Wilson was, I think, you know what? Let me do. I think Tori Wilson is a WWE Hall. I know Kelly is, and I believe it's Tori Wilson. Let me just double check. Let me check the Z website. Hold on. Superstars. Yep, I was right. WWE Hall of Famer Tori Wilson was shown coming out separate rooms, walking to the ring to make their next draft announcement, with Wilson representing Raw and McCool representing SmackDown. Michelle McCool and Tori Wilson come out, and they announce Randy Orton is number 5 draft pick and will remain on SmackDown. Tori Wilson then picks that the number 6 draft pick will be heading to Raw and reveals him to be Braun Breaker. McCool then says number 7 draft pick for SmackDown is Nia Jax. Wilson then says that the number 8 pick is Liv Morgan, who will be remaining on Raw. The video recapping the Bloodline's brutal attack on Kevin Owens last week was then shown. Paul Heyman was then shown backstage waiting, and a car pulls up. Heyman opens the car door, and Solo Sikoa exits the vehicle. Sikoa asks Heyman if Bloodline got drafted yet, and Heyman says no. Sikoa then asks for all the details. Heyman then says Reigns withdrew from the draft, and nobody knows what they are getting if the Bloodline will be drafted now. Tama Tonga then appears from the other side of the car. Sikoa then tells Heyman to repeat what he said. Kevin Owens then shows up and out of nowhere attacks Tonga. Officials rush to break up things up. Kayla Braxton was shown standing at the entranceway, and she brings out Bianca Belair and Braxton out. Braxton then asks Belair about the tag team match at Backlash between herself and Jade Cargill and WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, the Kabuki Warriors. Belair says that she has had a lot of history with Damage Control, and Jade Cargill is the perfect person to help her deal with Damage Control. Belair says that the Kabuki Warriors won't have a reason to show up to SmackDown after their win the women's tag team titles at Backlash. Asuka and Kairi Singh make their way out and hold their titles up. Jade Cargill's music then hits, and Cargill makes her way out to stand next to Belair. All 4 women are then at each other's faces. Owens and Tonga are then shown brawling out of the entranceway into the ring. Owens then continues his attack on Tonga, but Sikoa makes his way out and attacks Owens to give the Bloodline an upper hand. Tonga then beats up random personal security. Randy Orton's music then hits, and Orton makes his way down to the ring to make the save. Orton goes for an RKO on Sikoa, but Sikoa escapes. Orton and Owens then stand together in the ring, and Owens hugs Orton. Oh yeah, definitely. And I just read this morning. Guess who was at WWE headquarters? Jacob Fatu. And for the people that thinking, oh, then he's not going to be a backlash. What do you think that they could do? Could book. He could legitimately get a flight right there, and it's only about a 6-hour flight. He'll be there. He will be there before Saturday, guarantee you. So, WWE Hall of Famers Bubba Ray Dudley or Bully Ray Dudley and Devon Dudley was coming out of the war rooms. Bubba Ray announced that the ninth pick is LA Knight and he will be remaining on SmackDown. Devon Donnelly then announced the 10th pick is Ricochet and he will remain on Raw. Bully Ray then says that the 11th pick is Solo Sequoia's MFT, Tama Tonga, and Paul Heyman, and that the Bloodline will remain on SmackDown. Devon then says that the 12th pick is Sheamus and he will remain on Raw, but he was actually on SmackDown. So if you guys forgot, he was with the Brawling Brutes. And now, never mind, I'm not going to spoil it. WWE Women's Championship #1 contender match, Tiffany Stratton versus Naomi. The match starts off with Naomi hitting Stratton with a Thez press. Stratton then rolls out of the ring, and Naomi hits Stratton with a drop kick through the bottom rope. Naomi then sends Stratton's face bouncing off the ring apron and then gets her back inside the ring. Naomi then climbs to the top and looks to fly, but Stratton moves out of the way and sends Naomi crashing into the middle rope. Naomi then hits Stratton with a split-legged crossbody off the apron. Stratton then hits Naomi with a spine buster. Naomi said Stratton's face gets back inside the ring. Naomi then climbs the top to look to fly, but Stratton moves out of the way and sends Naomi crashing into the middle rope. Naomi then hits Stratton with a split-legged crossbody off the apron. Stratton then hits Naomi with a spinebuster. Naomi then responds with a sunset flip on Stratton. Then sends Stratton's head crashing into the mat. Stratton then hits Naomi with a jawbreaker, but Naomi responds with an enziguri. Nia Jackson blindsides Bayley at the commentary desk, then sends her crashing into the ring post. Naomi goes to help Bayley, but Jackson attacks Naomi and tells the referee to call the bell. And the referee calls for the bell. So this was like basically thrown out. So since it's a DQ, Naomi gets it automatically. But of course, they can't leave poor Whittle Stratton. She's got time. She could be going, when's the next Money in the Bank? You too. Thanks, Larry. Thank you so much. After the match, Stratton sets up Naomi and Bayley climbs up top to the rope. Stratton then hits Naomi and Bayley with the prettiest moonsault ever for the second week in a row. Stratton then poses to end the segment. We head to the back where Stratton was interviewing the Street Profits and BFAB. BFAB says they're going to take down the heels down, and Austin Theory and Grayson Waller then appears and starts talking trash. The almighty Bobby Lashley shows up and scares Theory and Waller off. We then see the Authors of Pain attack Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate as Karrion Kross sends a message to the WWE roster while Scarlett and Paul Ellering look on. WWE Hall of Famer Paul Ellering. Teddy Long was then shown coming out of the SmackDown draft room and making his way out. JBL was coming out of the Raw draft room and making his way out. Teddy Long announces that AJ Styles is the 13th overall pick and he will be staying on SmackDown. Sorry. JBL then says that the 14th overall pick is Alpha Academy and they will be staying on Raw. Long then says the 15th overall pick Andrade and he will be moving to SmackDown. because I think Charlotte's going to be put there. JBL then announces Katana James, and she's 16th overall pick, and she will be heading to Raw from NXT. There was a video package then shown on Kiana James. Jackie Roman is then interviewing James in Orlando. James says being drafted means the world to her, but she is ready to show Raw why James is the 1%. Shawn Michaels then appears and whispers something into James' ear. Michaels and James then hugs. A video package recapping Trick Williams winning the NXT Championship this past Tuesday was then shown. We then head back where Kayla Braxton was interviewing SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis. Aldis feels that good about the draft selection. Aldis then announces that Bayley will defend her WWE Women's Championship against Naomi and Tiffany Stratton in a triple threat match at Backlash. Tenny Long then announces Kevin Owens and Randy Orton will face the Bloodline at Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga at Backlash. There's a lineup for next week's that was announced. Then the entrances for the singles, the next match, which is undisputed WWE champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes versus Carmelo Hayes. The match starts off with Cody Rhodes hitting Carmelo Hayes with a signature open palm strike, but Hayes responds with a springboard lariat on Rhodes. Rhodes then hits Hayes with a clothesline of his own. Rhodes then delivers some strikes on Hayes. Hayes responds with a boot to Rhodes' midsection that follows up with a couple of strikes on Rhodes and puts his boot onto Rhodes' neck in the corner. Hayes and Rhodes then exchange chops before Rhodes hits Hayes with a back body drop. Rhodes then hits Hayes with a shoulder tackle, but Hayes responds with a facebuster and a fade away. Rhodes then looks for his crossroads finisher on Hayes, but instead rolls Hayes up and Hayes kicks out. Rhodes hit Hayes with a disaster kick and follows up with a running power slam and goes for a pin. Hayes then kicks out and Rhodes hits Hayes with a Cody Cutter. Rhodes then goes for another pin, but Hayes kicks out. Hayes then hits Rhodes with a first 48 and climbs to the top and goes for nothing but net. Rhodes avoids it and hits Hayes with a super kick. Rhodes then hits Hayes with a crossroads for the win, and that was the end of the match. After the match, Rhodes celebrates the win with the WWE Universe and holds up the undisputed WWE Championship. AJ Styles appears and he stares down Rhodes. Both men shake hands as they come to the close. So that was it. Please remember, tomorrow night I will be going live with my preview and predictions of Backlash. And then as soon as I get home and get settled from being with my son, if the pay-per-view is still going on, I'm going to finish watching it, obviously. And then right after that, I'm going to, as I'm watching it and everything like that, I'm going to set up the stream, get that situated, and then I'm going to go live as soon as that's done. So you'll see me 3 days in a row. So, and possibly two times in, because I'm going to probably go a little over into midnight on Saturday. Then next week at this time, I'm going to go on for episode 340. I'm going to go super early. I'm going to get up really early. I'm going to get things done because the next day is my birthday and I have company coming in. So this weekend. It's going to be crazy. Next week is going to be crazy. So hopefully, I could get through this whole situation, but it is what it is. Please do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe. Turn on the bell for all notifications so when I go live or upload a video or do a short, you will all know about it. Please follow me on Threads, Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, and Cameo, Mel's Mat Chat. Please also follow me on Snapchat, which is Real Mel's Mat Chat. Follow me all of there. I've also going to regularly post my PayPal account. I've come up with a loophole until I can get verified and until I get 1,000 followers so I can start taking super chats. You can, donate to me on my PayPal account. And you can donate as much as you want. And it is what it is. So go do all of that. Please do me a favor. Also, go check out Maestro Classics at maestroclassics.com, Liquid Death at liquiddeath.com, Deathwish Coffee at deathwishcoffee.com. And this weekend, what a way to celebrate Cinco de Mayo with Casa del Gloria from House of Glory. And if you can get your tickets at hogwrestling.net, or if you can't be there, please check out Thriller TV, which is Fight TV or whatever, Fight. Download it on all major app stores. So I want everybody to have a great weekend. I will see you next week. I will see you so many times in the next couple of days. So have a great day and check out the rest of the content too. All right. I love you all. Have a great Thursday. Sorry. Freudian slip.